Hey, good evening, guys. It's Jason here, one of the pro traders over at TrueTrader.net, putting out another midweek watch list for you. I try to do these every week. I've been around the business forever, since the early 90s, was a market maker as well. Just to give you some of my perspective on some ideas that I'm looking at, some ideas that'll be, looking at for Thursday and Friday. And I'll try to keep everything to about 10 minutes. So let's see what happens. Hope you guys are finding these helpful. And with that, I'm going to just jump right in here. So let me start off with our disclaimer. TrueTrader nor its representatives or myself are registered as a security broker dealer or investment advisor with the SEC or any state regulatory authorities, not licensed nor qualified to provide investment advice. This is 100% for entertainment purposes only. Don't follow me. Come up with your own plans always. This is not for you guys to follow or any type of investment advice. It's only for entertainment. With that, let me get through the disclaimer here and be done with that. Last week, if you remember, I was telling you how the market kind of felt a little bit funny. And it felt like it needed to take a little test of that 50-day. Well, we had it on Monday. As you can see, it had a big down day. And it's already bounced off it. I think it's a little quick, but who am I to say? I mean, look at the action here. It touched a 50-day and it just kept going down here, 50-day touch, and it just kept going. So, who am I to predict the markets? But, as they get extended, sometimes you just want a little bit of a breath, a little bit of a pullback. Didn't know it would happen in one day, that one test there, but it did. I think it's good for the markets overall. The only thing I would like to show you is on the Qs. They really haven't pulled back yet. So I'm cautiously optimistic on that, but I'd still like to see it pull back a little bit more, maybe down into this 346 area, but we'll see how that plays out if we get any luck there for a little bit of a pull. It doesn't have to. The 50-day could just catch right up with it eventually if it just keeps trending. But that being said, the market was up. NASDAQ was up almost 1% today, and the Dow was up a couple hundred points. So we're still off to the races, as they say. I just want to touch base before I jump into my list today about one other topic. And that is that, there's a lot of new traders that sometimes watch these videos. And I just want to do a couple quick reminders. Being in this business and being a trader doesn't mean that if you're sitting at your desk, you automatically have to mash buttons. Okay. I hear this too much. I'm at my desk. I feel like I got to always trade, and you end up over trading. I'm sure you guys have heard the expression, death by 1,000 paper cuts. Well, it kind of, happens in this business where you'll take a stock and you'll try it and try it and try it. And by the time you win, you're barely green on it, or you're still red. Guys, part of being at this business is being patient, sitting on your hands, protecting your capital, waiting for the opportunities. And on that note, also, I see a lot of people kind of in way before any kind of confirmation, whether you're trading a, 1030 or 11 reversal, and you're waiting for a higher high or for it to confirm making a higher low and then a higher high, and people are already in the stock, and of course they get stopped out. It never makes a new high and just continues to grind lower. Just make sure you're waiting on your confirmations. Be patient, folks. This is a business. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So get used to it. Get used to a lot of hand sitting, and good luck with that. I mean, this is a game of patience. So with that being said, I'm going to dive right into some ideas that I have that I'm looking at. First one I wrote down was DAR. I wrote 6810 and 6710. So 6810 right here, you could see there's a couple things. There's a 50-day, or excuse me, and let me back up on DAR. The reason this hit my list is I love when a stock, it broke this level right here, this resistance, and also closed above the 50-day. So what I want to look for is an entry. So my thought on an entry on this thing was off this quarterly pivot area, right off at 6810, and I also wrote down 6710, which I believe was today's low. That it was just below today's low. So 6710 was the other area that I was looking at. So DAR is going to be on my list to see if it wants to do some continuation and another push there. That's DAR. Another one. This is a little. I was hesitant to put this on my list because it's a much lighter volume name, but SFIX is one I couldn't ignore it. And let me just show you. You got a 50-day, a 200-day, and a previous low all bunched together right here. It's kind of hard to see. I could drag it open a little bit for you guys to see, but the purple line, the 200 days, the orange line, and you got a pivot as well. You also got a quarterly as well as a previous low in this area. So that's why I put down this. I wrote down for price, I put down 56.30 and 55.15. 56.30 might be a little bit close to where it closed. It closed at 56.86. So 56.30 is pretty much right at the this 50-day. And then the 55.15 is the 200-day number. So that's where I came up with those two numbers. But SFIX looks pretty interesting. It might be a, one of those that, not a lot of stress on the stock, meaning like a lower stress type trade. If it goes and tests those levels, holds them, lighter volume, maybe floats up a little bit for me. So I'll be watching for Stitch Fix. Let me go to NEO. Let me just do this so it auto scales. There we go. NEO's another one, had a pretty strong day today. I wrote down 44.15 and 43.60. 44.15 is back in this monthly pivot, also the previous low, and then 43.60 is the 200-day, which is just below it. But I had a really strong day. A lot of times when I look at these things, there's nothing in between here. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll look for a retrace of the move that it made today, a name that really closes close to highs like this one. It closed pretty close to highs, and I'll look for a retrace. So for instance, this stock 47.30, let's say the high of the day was, or I could actually just hover over at 44. So that's, $3.50, call it $3.50. So I'll look for a $2 move off that high, which brings you down into that 45.40 area. But there's nothing really in that area to kind of go off of, but keep an eye on, some sort of, I'll draw a Fibonacci when I do that and look for a Fibonacci retrace for the move that it made today into a new level. I don't think there's anything in that 45.30 level. If I look, there's a weekly pivot down in here. That's something that might be an I plus is support from that day. So that might be an area where I'll look tomorrow to see if it doesn't make it down into the levels I want. It might be one that I just join, in other words. So hopefully that made sense and I talked that out with you all. So that is NEO. Let me keep going here. AMAT. I know AMAT was on my list a couple weeks ago. 134.25. I mean, I really, I can't ignore this. I got the 50-day. I got a pivot up here. This is one that it closed really strong today, closed on highs. I would love a pullback right into this area, right in here. That's where the pink line is, as well as the 50-day. And I'll be looking for a long there. Looks really good. It's just above the 50-day, which is 134 as well. Okay. So I wrote down on AMAT 134.25. We'll see how that plays out. Jumping into SNAP, SNAP. I wrote down 61.82. 61.82. Again, confluence of a couple things here. You got the 50-day right up in here as well. The purple line's a 50-day. You got a monthly right there and the previous low. You got a lot of stuff right there, that 61.80 area. That's going to be looking for a pullback. I know that it might not make it back to that level. We'll see it close up at 63. This quarterly right here will catch my eye as well. If it comes back again, same idea when I was talking about NEO, a name that it has been pretty strong the last few days. You could even say, see on Monday when we had a big down day, had a big green candle there. So this is another one that I'll keep a close eye on. If it pulls back, doesn't quite make it back to my 61.80 level, 62.40 might be the spot for me, but we'll see on that one. Right, 61.82 is the main level I want. Next one I wrote down was STX. So STX came out with earnings. Everything looked good to me on the earnings. It was definitely under pressure. They said something, I'm assuming, on the conference call. Numbers didn't look too bad to me, but I just want to show you, like this was one I actually traded today. I'm putting back on. There's a monthly pivot and the prior day I want to show you. So the 80.60, I'm sorry, the level I have is 80.60 right off this monthly. But if I actually go and I show you what it did today, you could see that there's a weekly down here, right, off this 80 area. But see how it held this 80.60 area, during the day. So that's what I'm going to look for, is a pullback today, but back into that level. We'll see if it holds and wants to continue grinding higher. So I will watch STX off 80.60, maybe even the $80 number, the big number there. We'll see how it plays out, but I have a feeling that that'll be a nice one off that 80.60 area. Keep going. That is STX. That was. Hopefully, I'm trying to slow down a little bit because I know I talk fast. Hog is another one. HOG. Looking at Hog, I wrote down 39.80. Well, you guys could see it. It really didn't have much of a bounce today. It was a name that I was watching. I was kind of watching for a reversal on it. But I will tell you, like, when you get the 200-day and the monthly coming up here and close to the previous low, maybe tomorrow we get one more wash. Maybe that seller that was around today, still around, gives it one more flush into this level. It closed at 40.65, so it's really not that far away. It's about $1 away. It might be too close, as a matter of fact. If it's too close and I come in tomorrow and it's already down in that level, I'll look down towards this 39.25 area. You could also see the support from that April, right? See this, how it held this level in April? So this is a level of definitely has some interest for me in this 39.80 area or off 39, which is just below this quarterly. All right, that's on hog. 3 more. Next one we're looking at is FUBO, FUBO. Another one that's really tight. I wrote down on this, listen, it closed right at the 200-day, literally 27.28. It closed above the 50-day. I love stocks like this that close above. Looks like it's a nice curl right here. And if it clears this level, I think it could be testing that this 29 area, which is where the 20-day is, 29 or 30. So I want to be around for FUBO on a move like that. So I have written down 26.41, which is actually today's low, I think. Yep, today's low. I'm not sure it's going to be there. It might be one that I just joined. And what I mean by that is you get your early morning imbalance. Maybe it doesn't quite make it down to 26.50. I see a nice higher low, or it just stabilizes and just starts pushing up, staying above VWAP. I could trade it right above the VWAP and join the trend on it. So wouldn't be surprised if it just has a nice uptrend tomorrow. That's FUBO. Next one on my list is BIDU. I haven't done a lot with these the China names, but BIDU, this one in the last few days actually has looked pretty decent. I looked at that 177.10, which is a quarterly pivot in the previous low. It's just below the quarterly, but it's the previous low. I'll watch this to see if it wants to continue. And for me, I kind of get the feeling that this is going to want to push into this 185 area, which is right up in here, which is these previous highs. So that's why I want to be around on this name. So I'm going to see if it tests that previous low, that quarterly pivot area, and maybe join BIDU. The market might determine this one, although Monday, again, it wasn't that bad on Monday. It had a green candle on Monday. So we'll see if it continues and turns back upward. And that's BIDU. Last one on my list today is Twitter. Twitter, I wrote down 67.55. 67.55 is today's low. But this is another one I want to just point out a couple things to you. You have the 20-day, again, a stock closed on highs. You have the 20-day 68.40 right in the middle of that Friday of today's move. So that might be the spot for me. It's only $1 down from where it closed, so we'll have to see. Closed at 69.50, right? So I want to see if that 68.40 area holds. But right now I've written down for it to test the previous low, which is 67.55. And the reason on this one is you guys could see the 67 to 70 clear right here would be really sweet. Listen, you can't say it doesn't happen. I always use a term. I want to be around. I want to be around for these type of things. When they start setting up and they're holding a level and starting to turn, I want to be around. When they do clear, they sometimes jump a few points, and I want to be around for that big day. So I like it. The stock's looking good. Had a good few days, 50 days curling here. It reclaimed the 20-day today. It's back above it. Let's see if it can make a push right through 70 and make a nice jump for us. So even off 67.55, that's already 2.5 points. So not a bad idea. So with that all being said, that's all the ideas. I just want to give, again, I hope you guys are tuning into both the Sunday and, hopefully my Wednesday prep as well. If you're watching this, you're obviously tuning into it. Ricky, again, great calls, man. You're continuing to kick some butt there. I know we had win off $100 the other day, WYNN. It was on Monday. You could see what it did. It gave 5 points that day, and it continued on. It's given 9 points or so since then. And I know he also was all about that Myrna short. And he took it on Tuesday, I'm pretty sure, and it gave like 40 points or so since. So some great calls that he has, and he spells them out so detailed. So keep up the great work with that. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are following the Sunday prep as well. It's been money, so let's keep on it. Other than that, if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out, leave your comments in the YouTube channel. I do try to answer them. If I'm a little bit slow, I will get to it. I promise. Benito jumps on me to get on it. And come check us out over at TrueTrader. And hopefully you guys get to know everybody over there. We got a pretty cool community over there. So come check us out at TrueTrader.net. Okay. Thanks again. I wish you guys a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.